Today in the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, episode 261, we're going to be talking about WWE countering AEW's All Out with Wrestlepalooza. Now, is this a smart move? Because apparently AEW decided to move the time, which I'm going to talk about it and let you know how I feel, my take on that, and how this is going to affect the wrestling business on that day. We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. And we are live.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to the episode 261 on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I might as well call myself the Invincible Podcast because it seems that a lot of people, when I do the podcast, people just listen to it, but they're not really listening to it because there's some of the people that I confront as far as storylines and stuff like that. They just want to argue online, and I don't got time for that. But anyway, let's jump on this right away. WWE counters AEW All Out. We knew this was going to happen. We knew that this was announced. We had so many people, and when I say so many AEW haters, saying, oh, AEW is done because WWE is going to come up with a pay-per-view, and it was the main roster pay-per-view. Was it going to be NXT? So WWE decided, well, you know what? Let's make a deal and let's do business with ESPN. And they did the ESPN deal. Well, we all found out about that a couple of weeks ago. Now Peacock is no longer going to have their pay-per-views through their channel. They're going to have NXT PLEs in there, but not the regular main pay-per-view stuff. So WWE now was countering WWE AEW with All Out by having they shows the same time that All Out was going to start. And we're talking about pretty much All Out was going to start at 7, so was Wrestlepalooza. So during this week, we saw so many people laughing, making fun of Tony Khan, that Tony Khan, his pay-per-view was not going to be seen and all this stuff and whatnot. I got to give it to Tony Khan because Tony Khan was being defiant. He wasn't going to move his show, whatever. Well, he decided to do it at 3 o'clock, which in a way people are laughing like, he's doing it at 3 o'clock. Nobody's going to be watching. Well, people forget is summer's almost over. And second of all, AEW has their fan base. And their fan base is going to go and see these shows. I don't think there's going to be no type of division when it comes to that. Because now, Tony Khan, I think, in my opinion, many may not agree with me, but I think that was a smart move on Tony Khan. Well, WWE fans and trolls that always taking shots at AEW is that Tony Khan has a bad habit of having a show and making it real long. Now, if you guys noticed that the last pay-per-view they had, the Forbidden Door, that was 5 hours long. The one before that, which it was Double or Nothing, was it Double or Nothing? Or All In, actually, was almost 6 hours long. See, what Tony Khan has this bad habit that when he wants to put everybody on the show, he's going to do it because he has the money to probably deal with, when it comes to that. So usually it's be 6 hours. So let's say, give and take, that the show ends at 8. That already alone is an hour over what Wrestlepalooza is going to start. Wrestlepalooza is going to start at 7. Now, we can go to the cards and look at what AEW so far has, even though it's not the greatest thing in the world. But so far, what they have is the AEW TBS Championship match between Mercedes Moné versus Riho, which is not too crazy. I don't know why. I think they ran out of challengers on this. Adam Copeland against Christian Cage versus FTR. That's becoming a good feud, in my opinion. And so is the Hurt Syndicate versus Ricochet and Gates of Agony. And I'm glad that they're doing it with Gates of Agony because Gates of Agony is a good tag team. And finally, Tony Khan is pushing them. And along with Ricochet, they fit like a glove. Okay? So that's what is so far already announced for both of these pay-per-views. But like I said, usually, like I said, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, we have not seen Bloods and Guts? That cage? It hasn't happened. And I have my feelings that the Don Callis family is going to be in a cage against, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, probably Jet Speed. I mean, and you got to get a fifth member after that, I guess. But it's been crazy when it comes to AEW. We don't know right now. It looks like MJF is not going to be in that show because he just got married and whatnot. So we got to figure out, or AEW's got to figure out what shows are going to put the same thing. Now let's go with WWE, what they got so far. They got John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Now, is that something I want to watch? No. Why would you ask? Because I've seen these guys wrestle, and they're not gonna do anything great. John Cena's past his age. Brock Lesnar's definitely past his age. All he does is suplex, F5, suplex, F5, suplex, F5. That's all he does. Okay, and that's what we're gonna watch. This is what we're gonna see. Now, the Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee and CM Punk. Okay, it's kind of different because now you're adding the woman, but let's be realistic. WWE, what they did was, first of all, they go into nostalgia because they're bringing AJ Lee after 10 years out of WWE, which they treated her like shit. She's back because, of course, she's married to CM Punk. Same time, CM Punk was treated like shit. But let's talk about and whatnot, the situation here. What WWE is doing, they're taking out a card of a 2019 feud, but it's being turned backwards. And when I say that is because back, Lacey Evans and Baron Corbin, remember that? That tag team against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, that was a feud back in 2019. Now this time it's been reversed, but now Lacey Evans and no Baron Corbin. Now it's CM Punk and AJ Lee. Now, to me, what we're having here is this supposedly long-term booking with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. How many times are we going to watch the same matches with these guys? Okay? Because that's what they're doing. They've done the four-way. They've done the, I don't know, they haven't done a cage. I think they haven't done a cage yet. Or they have. I don't know. How many times are we going to see Seth Rollins versus CM Punk? And people get upset when I bring stuff up. Think about it. This is, to me, I call this lazy booking. Okay? Lazy booking. And the fact that they let AJ Lee pop out in SmackDown 3 weeks before the pay-per-view does not make any sense. Now, I don't have any issues with AJ Lee. I love AJ Lee. I was a big fan of AJ Lee. My daughter is a big fan of AJ Lee. I got her book, everything. And I think what she did a couple of years ago, where she pretty much told the Bella Twins that they were more concerned about them doing a reality show instead of being a good wrestler. And she got a lot of heat for that, but she's back. I love AJ Lee. Don't get me wrong. I love AJ Lee. But the fact that now you bring in AJ Lee to team up with CM Punk for a pay-per-view, okay? The title's not on the line, okay? To go against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. Now, we could see Becky Lynch going against, against AJ Lee, but I don't see AJ Lee winning that belt. For the simple fact that what I'm seeing with Becky Lynch, they're bringing all these divas from back in the day. They're doing the nostalgia. That's all WWE does. So they don't want to build storylines. They'll go to the nostalgia card. That's what they do. I mean, like I said, I don't have a problem with AJ Lee coming. Hey, great. I was happy to see her yesterday. Okay. But I have a problem because I already know what they're going to do. They're going to put against Becky Lynch and she's going to lose to Becky Lynch because they're pushing Becky Lynch. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? And the way WWE is doing these storylines and all these They don't care because they're making money regardless. Regardless if you don't watch it, regardless if you don't don't watch the pay-per-views, whatever. They're still making money. All you gotta do is just go to the stock market and see how much money TKO was making. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I'm not trying to put it with, AEW is better. AEW is still young. They only been around 6 years. They'll be 6 years October 2nd. Okay? 6 years. Okay? And right now, as far as All Out, I'm not too crazy with a lot of the storyline, how things are developing and whatnot. Because right now, I got to show you the 3 matches they have there. I have Riho against Mercedes Moné. I don't know why they even put that Riho match. I don't know why. And whatnot. What they should have done was bring Athena again and wrestle, Mercedes for another match for the TBS title on the line. Their match last time was a banger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, AEW has stuff that look like they don't. This pay-per-view may not be great. Even though that pay-per-view are always good, you know what I'm saying? But they bound to have a bad pay-per-view this year. They haven't had a bad pay-per-view this year. You know what I'm saying? They had a bad ending, if I believe it was in April with the Death Riders and all stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, most likely we're probably gonna see Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. That's gonna be one of the matches and whatnot. But I know most likely Gabe Kidd is involved in this, so who knows what's his role in there. You know what I'm saying? And top it off, we know Daniel Garcia is going to become a member of the Death Rider. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, and AEW is suffering from talent. They had lost Jay White this year. They have lost Will Ospreay. They lost Swerve Strickland. So a lot of the good talents are not in. They lost one half of the Gun Club. You know what I'm saying? Juice Robinson's not that type of wrestler that's going to take the spotlight. They brought in Warlord. We haven't seen Warlord ever since he joined the Don Callis family. This week, we saw the whole Don Callis family beating the crap out of Kenny Omega once again and Hangman Page, but no Warlord. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. I think the good storyline so far that I'm seeing is the FTR and Cage and Copeland. And the who else? And the Gates of Agony and her business, or the Hurt Syndicate. You know what I'm saying? Those are good storylines we've seen. I mean, the world title right now. You see that Toni Storm this week asked somebody to challenge her. Who knows who would that be? Could be again Mercedes Moné. You know what I'm saying? But then again, it can't be Mercedes Moné because she's about to defend her TBS title against Riho. So I can see Megan Bayne. I think Megan Bayne should be the one to dethrone Toni Storm. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. But I mean, this whole thing with WWE countering AEW has become ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Because they actually trying to get them out of business. You know what I'm saying? But here's the problem. A lot of, you got all these wrestling fans, all these trolls, and they talk about, hope AEW dies, blah, 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 blah. The thing they don't understand is, okay, let's say if AEW dies. Then you stuck with WWE. And what's going to be the complaint? The complaint there was 20-something years ago. Or even further than that. No, I think about 22 years ago. Oh, WWE sucks. They're not trying. They're not going to try. Then the only promotion in town. Let's say AEW no longer around. What's going to happen? I mean, you can still watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. You still go see CMML. But right now, take AEW out of the thing. We're going to be having the same situation we had a couple of years ago. The only thing that I enjoyed about wrestling back in 2014, that's when I started watching all the other promotions again, was when Ring of Honor was around, was far with Adam Cole, with AJ Styles, Jay Lethal back then. Then, they were teaming up with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Back then they had the Omega, the whole Bullet Club with Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Those were the days. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of like help bring back the wrestling we have with AEW. But it seems like a lot of wrestling fans have amnesia or dementia. They forget how much they were complaining when WWE bought WCW and ECW. The only group around was WWE and TNA. TNA couldn't compete with WWE, even after they brought Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan. Because Dixie Carter did not know what she was doing. As you could see in 2013, she nearly killed TNA when AJ Styles left. You know what I'm saying? And they almost went out of business. I'm surprised they're still around. And the only reason they're still around, they're hanging by a thread. Because WWE, I tell you right now, WWE already probably bought TNA on the download, and they're not telling anybody. Why would they do a report about if TNA gets sold, they got to be WWE friendly? Well, how is that? You don't own TNA. So how is it they make the call? Because they already bought TNA. You know what I'm saying? And if they get TNA, let's say if they did buy TNA, they're going for the library. They're not going for anything else. You know what I'm saying? They're not going for anything else. You know? So it's just ridiculous when I see stuff like that, when WWE being petty and trying to manipulate the landscape and trying to divide wrestling fans and whatnot. And then you got these other wrestling fans, which I call trolls and e-drones, who go online and have the balls and the audacity saying that AJ Lee is more valuable than Kenny Omega. This is what I'm reading online. It's ridiculous. You know, well, little do they know that by WWE even if they were smart, they would have went and did if they were smart, they would have done the Wrestlepalooza, have CM Punk bring out AJ Lee in the pay-per-view, not last night. You know what I'm saying? Not last night. Because at the end of the day, you did that. So what is special about Wrestlepalooza? First of all, Wrestlepalooza, where they got that name from? ECW. They got that from ECW. That was a pay-per-view back then for ECW. They don't create anything. They copy everything and whatnot. So they are so... Listen, the way it's funny, they are so determined, and they got this obsession of putting AEW out of business. And I have people talking about, but they're trying to secure the number one spot. You're going to be number one regardless. AEW is nowhere near WWE. Okay? The only thing that makes AEW exciting is because they're working with other promotions, with New Japan, CMML, you know what I'm saying? Stardom. You know what I'm saying? Rep Pro. So you see a lot of different wrestlers, which makes it exciting because you get to see all these wrestlers from other promotion come in and wrestle on TV that you never seen, like Michael Okor. Or you see Eric Chisetta, who was part of CMML. Or Barzilla, who came in at Forbidden Door and wrestled in the four-way for Stardom. You know what I'm saying? And they own Ring of Honor. So and in case y'all didn't see Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor on last Friday, y'all missed a goddamn great program. Great show. And it's barely when I talk about Ring of Honor in here. You know what I'm saying? Ring of Honor, the last two pay-per-views, it was the Death Before Dishonor, and then oh my God, I forgot what the other one was. But those two pay-per-views were great. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand wrestling fans anymore. You know, all they want is one promotion. When they had only one promotion, they were complaining. Now they think it's cool that WWE's counter programming these shows on AEW, but in reality, again, the fans will be burned out come Saturday the 20th. I'm gonna tell you, like again, I already told you. Think about it. If they're trying to divide and they're trying to get wrestling fans not to watch AEW. AEW has their base regardless. You got the AEW fan, and then you got the WWE fan, and then you got the pro wrestling fans and whatnot that watches everything. Now, if you're trying to get them to be on your side, then you better come up with a better card than what you already got. You only got three matches. Nobody listen, at the end of the day, no one cares about the John Cena. You know what I'm saying? The John Cena and the Brock Lesnar. Okay? No one cares. Do you care?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
we don't care.
I'm telling you right now, no one cares for that match. Okay. And I heard they're gonna put Io Sky versus Stephanie Raquel for the title. And I think they wrestled before, but it's like I said, the rinse and repeat that WWE does. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're based like that. I don't. How many times do you want to get? Don't you get tired of seeing the same freaking matches? The Seth Rollins and CM Punk has been going on for almost a year and a half. For a year and a half. And we're still, nothing has been solved. You know what I'm saying? But, like I said, we got people who think this shit is cool. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not here to be an AEW defender and I'm, a mark for AEW. Right now, AEW, they only got 3 matches set up for All Out. Okay? I don't know what's the next one. I don't know if MJF is going to be part of that. I highly doubt it. He just got married to Alicia Tout and whatnot. So he may not be in the show. Okay. Again, Swerve Strickland is out. Will Ospreay is out. You know what I'm saying? That Jay White is out, has been out for a while. So injury has put AEW in a situation right now that this pay-per-view coming up may not be that good. But right now, you got the Don Callis family right now. And that faction is the hottest faction. They are harder than the Death Riders. Okay. So now you got the Ops. Well, right now, I don't know what the situation with Hook is going to be at. But, you know what I'm saying, is you got that. You got Darby Allin feuding with the Moxley. You got Omega, Hangman feuding. So they're going to have to do all this stuff like faction type of stuff. And I don't know. Again, I don't know how All Out is going to look. But I'll tell you one thing, though. If I had a choice, it was 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, the show started, I was going to watch All Out. Now, you're probably going to say, oh, well, you're a WWE hater. No, it's not WWE. It's the best. Who has a better show? I don't want to watch no damn Brock Lesnar with John Cena. I don't. I definitely don't want to watch Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee and CM Punk. Because I already know who's going to win that. That shit's predictable. That shit's predictable. CM Punk and AJ Lee is going to win because that's her return and whatnot. But the storyline is going to continue. You know what I'm saying? It's going to continue. And what's going to happen is I could see Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come out and beat the crap out of CM Punk again. You know what I'm saying? And then it's supposedly Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. Why is McIntyre getting another title shot? This man's always in the world title picture. Why? Why you don't put somebody else? This guy's always somewhere in the world title picture. You know what I'm saying? So, and Cody Rhodes hasn't defended the belt since he won against Cena. So, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to work because at the end of the day, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So guys, subscribe to the channel for the latest updates and news. Hit that notification bell for new upload. Ask questions during the live stream, and we will try to answer them during the show and whatnot. So, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But there's all stuff going on. It's crazy. And then, leaving out a topic, Matt Riddle. Let me talk about Matt Riddle, even though this title has nothing with Matt Riddle on, but I just want to say this real quick about Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle went online on some podcast or whatever and claimed that AJ Lee was sleeping around before she got with CM Punk. Now, I don't know what's wrong with this guy because Matt Riddle was a good wrestler, is a good wrestler and whatnot, but ever since he left WWE and then he was in New Japan at one point and then he didn't sell to Zack Sabre Jr., he's in MLW, God knows doing what. And he's being the next Ryback. Going around talking about people because it looks like no federation wants to deal with him. New Japan don't want to deal with him. WWE doesn't want to deal with him. AEW doesn't want to deal with him. MLW is dealing with him because I guess, I don't know, probably he's not getting paid that much or whatever the case may be. But for Matt Riddle to go around and talk crap about somebody's wife, There's something wrong with him. Everybody's asking, what's wrong with him? He's a pothead. Guy smoking too much weed is getting to his head. And the more he talks, the less anybody's going to sign him. You know what I'm saying? The less they're going to sign him. So he's just digging himself in a hole where, he's not going to go anywhere. So anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this whole WWE counters AEW All Out with Wrestlepalooza. You think the fans will be burned out? I think the fans are going to end up being burned out. And, I don't know who's watching almost 7 hours worth of wrestling. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go and watch AEW All Out, and then you're going to watch 2 or 3 hours of Wrestlepalooza. I don't see people just even doing that, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So for them, I don't understand it. That whole WWE trying to counter, and again, Tony Khan did the right thing. He moved the show because he probably figured, you got trolls out there that will not watch it just to get, or they'll send a little text and watch ESPN. And besides, are you going to pay $30 for the extra ESPN Plus to watch this show? Unless they're supposed to be streaming it at ESPN. I don't know if it's at ESPN Plus, but most likely they're probably going to do it. I don't know if it's free, but if it's free, it's not going to work for your guys. So I think it's ESPN Plus, and you got to pay for that. And everybody, I was talking to the guys on Circle Debate last week, and we were talking about the streaming thing and all that. You have to pay for ESPN Plus. That's separate from the bill for ESPN. So if you're willing to pay $60, $70 a month to watch the WWE programming, I'm not saying that AEW's pay-per-views are cheap. They're $54 or $50. Actually, it's $50. But I'd rather pay $50 than pay $74, $75 on, I got Prime Video, so that shit is free. You know what I'm saying? I pay that subscription for that a yearly. So I don't understand this whole counter programming. And this is, I think, again, before I leave, I think this is the reason why WWE is being so lazy as far as producing better storylines. Because like I've been saying this for months, all they are worrying about is trying to find all these streams where AEW cannot get on anywhere when their TV contracts are up and whatnot. And then so therefore they're so focused on eliminating AEW that they are not putting any type of effort on storylines. You know what I'm saying? Because do you really need to counter program AEW? No. AEW is really, in reality, they're not a threat. They're not going to take the number one spot. You know what I'm saying? WWE's been around for what? Since 62? Almost 63 years? AEW's been around for 6 years. As you see right now, they already lost 3 of the top guys. And it's that pay-per-view coming up may hurt them. May hurt them because they don't got the top guys. MJF is not going to be there either. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So again, guys, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and the X and whatnot. It's just some love. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are live every week. We try to give you the best updates and news on what's going on in wrestling and whatnot. Also, check out my podcast store, TCWR, veryimpressive.com. That's TCWR.veryimpressive.com. And check out the hoodies, the sweaters, the hats, and whatnot. We got several t-shirts in there, so check that out. So we're all part of the Jonas Podcast Network, also the Chairshot Media Group. So we're everywhere so far. So come and support us. I'll gladly appreciate it. So leave me your comments, your thoughts on this and whatnot, and I'll appreciate it very much. So let me know what you think. Until then, guys, we'll see you next week with more of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.